Assalamu alaikum guys. In this video we'll learn 5 PHP arrays methods that will increase your productivity and save time instead of using loops to get the final value of them. So the first array method is array sum, which is used for summing the elements of arrays. So here we have numbers of arrays, and if we want to get the sum of them, instead of using array in this way here and return this value 45, we can directly use array sum method here, array sum method for numbers, and if I refresh, the same result. What if the array was null? Empty array to return 0, right? The next method is the same logic, but for getting product, multiplying all elements of each other. So here I will say multiply, and I want to return sum, refresh, because it's 0, but the initial value is 1, refresh, and now here is the product of these numbers. And instead of using this way here, we can say directly array product here for numbers, refresh, and the same result. By the way, the default value for empty array is 1, not 0. So you can check here, because as we noticed here, it works like this. And if the initial value is 0, all multiply is 0, because if we multiply anything by 0, it will return 0, right? The next method here is array count value for counting value. For example, how many 1 we have, how many 2 we have, and so on. It may be a little bit complex actually for you writing a for each for this, right? But instead of that, we can use directly here array count value. So I will say dd array count values for numbers, right? Refresh. Here we have only 1. We have only 1, 2, 1, 3. But if I added another 1 here, refresh, we have 2 ones, another 1 here. And if you notice, the index is the values of this element, right? Unique. And if we want to get the number of ones, we can use here 1, refresh, and it says we have 3 ones, right? The next method here for getting value of a specific column or specific key for nested arrays. So we can say here, for example, name. We generated some values here, and if we want only to return names, we can say dd array column numbers here. First parameter is the array we want to get columns from, and I want to get names, the name of key. So if I refresh here, it returns all names. It works like block in the Laravel, by the way. And if we want to get age, we can say here get age as a string, and it returns age. And we can mix them together for getting here the sum, maybe array sum, refresh, and works correctly, right? So here is the case of if the array is multi-dimensional. The last one here is array filter, which is for filtering arrays. So instead of, for example, we can say for each here, for each number, actually let's say people instead of numbers here, we'll say people and person, and then instead of defining here a new empty array, for example data, here I can say if a person age greater than 20, push it to our data array, right? So I will say here dd data, refresh, it returns to users whose age is greater than 20, 30, and 40. Instead of using it, we can say directly here array filter, right? And our first parameter is the array we want to filter, people, and there's a function closure represents his parameter each person, and we use data for filling it. If you noticed here, we use and because it will be we pass by reference, right? I will show you here. And also I'm using the logic, it loops also here, then filling the data whose age is greater than 20, refresh, the same result here. What if we remove this and? So take care of this. Refresh. It has nothing. So here is the purpose of passing a value by reference. If you want to filter over index of arrays also, we can say here as a third parameter, array filter use both, which means use both index and value. So here I have now index and person and value, dd index to check if the arrange order is correct or not, 0, and I want to say dump actually instead of dd. As you can see, 0, 1, 2, and it is 0, 1 only. So for example, we can say and index not equal to 1. Refresh. Here is I filtered over value and index also, right? Here's quick tips for PHP arrays. If you find this useful, support me by clicking on like, share, and subscribe. See you in next video.